Alors, Crime and Punishment, qui s'appelait Crime et Châtiment dans les communiqués. Et finalement, même en France, il a gardé son titre en VO. Je pense que tout simplement, c'est parce que le jeu n'est pas en VF. Il n'a pas été traduit. Enfin, doublé. Donc du coup, ils se sont dit, pour être logique, chez Focus, on va garder le nom en anglais. C'est pas mal. C'est pas plus mal. Ok, on va se lancer tout de suite. J'ai fait les précédents épisodes, je m'attends quand même à quelque chose de bien, puisque les précédents épisodes étaient globalement pas top, mais qu'à chaque fois c'était meilleur que le précédent. Donc ça ne peut être que bien. Genre les mecs ils ont fait un générique quoi. C'est un peu classe. C'est exactement ça que j'attends de la part de Frogwares, c'est que qu'ils mettent le paquet sur la réalisation. Ils sont vraiment améliorés d'épisode en épisode, donc il y a moyen. C'est dommage qu'il y ait un chargement juste après, ceci dit. Bon, un peu long le chargement. Vous me direz si vous entendez pas bien le jeu, hein, parce que moi ça me paraît très très faible là. Ok, Holmes fait encore n'importe quoi.
Holmes, will you stop that?
Hmm.
You are mad.
Eh ben il y a du chargement déjà pour commencer. Hein.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare,
C'est
Inspector.
quand même mieux d'avoir les
Take your time.
les voix en anglais.
Join
Hein.
me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Ok. Alors je joue au clavier. Hein. D'accord. Télescope. Ah bah d'accord. Ah c'est la grosse dame du précédent épisode au passage. Alors. Les tâches dans le journal, ok. C'est plus joli qu'avant. Ok, on a la boussole pour la carte. L'épreuve. Peter Carey alias Black Peter. Ok. Document, on n'a rien. Dialogue. Ah, on a gardé les dialogues, d'accord. Les petits souvenirs. Écho. Portrait. Ça marche. Inspecter Woodsmanly. Attends, je vais fouiller un peu avant. Il veut dire que je me casse.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of that.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
My archive. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always consult with it if need.
La chambre de Holmes. Ah, sérieux? C'est sympa ça. C'est bien sympa d'avoir fait ça. Ça sert à rien, mais... Ok. Ok. Sympa déjà. Une bonne idée. Une bonne petite idée de personnalisation du personnage. Et je me dis qu'on peut aussi personnaliser les fringues. Ouais. J'aime bien la formelle. Ça fait un peu Cumberbatch quoi. Ah mais je l'ai pas débloqué. Faut que je le débloque. Ah comment tu me spoil frère Tuck. Encyclopédie. Ah d'accord. Il dit toujours la même chose. Bon par contre c'est pas très... ça doit me faire vomir à force de regarder ça. J'aime pas trop la voix de... Non, je vais pas quitter maintenant. Chambre de Watson. Ça y est, on peut rien y faire. Dommage. Alors, il faut que j'aille à Woodsmanly. Mener mon enquête. Pas mal le petit chargement. Petit chargement animé. J'ai lu des Sherlock Frères Tuck, d'ailleurs j'en ai lu pas mal et il y a 2-3 que je n'ai pas lu encore qu'il faut que je me chope. Et d'ailleurs, je vous conseille d'en lire en plus. Parce que honnêtement, les adaptations ciné et séries sont toutes bonnes. Celle de Ritchie, de Guy Ritchie, avec Robert Downey Jr. est vraiment bien. Parce que c'est un peu le même perso quoi, c'est bien fait. Enfin, ça dépend des romans en fait. Il y a des romans, ça fait plus Cumberbatch, il y a des romans, ça fait plus Robert Downey Jr. C'est pas mal. Ok. T.
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes. Ah, faut que je fouille un peu. Alors je me mets en mode sentier d'aller. À bord du sentier d'aller. Ah, des traces de pas.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Ok. Donc j'imagine qu'on garde les indices, voilà. Voilà la victime. Les empreintes de pas.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Oh, genre je peux pas passer. Ah. C'est très énervant, on peut pas aller où on veut. Ah, les changements sont un peu longs.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open. But I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Génial, il a pourri pendant 3 heures.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Ah, c'est vachement bien ça. C'est simple. C'est vachement bien.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
C'est dur. Raté. Ah bon, on peut pas louper apparemment. Je pense qu'il va me faire
You
revenir.
have indeed suffered a great loss.
Yes, life...
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Alors...
Mr. Holmes?
Ils disent tous la même chose, les flics. Il n'y a rien devant elle là? Non, bon. Ah bah. Il y a le commissaire qui m'attend. Il me faut une botte.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took...
Alors là, planquer les enfants, ça va être dégueu.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see. These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Now, a mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Ah, mais c'est dégueu.
Terrible way to die. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 18...
Des bottes.
Peter Carey... Old navigation instruments. Harpoons for hunting whales. The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that... The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Qu'est-ce que je mets pas bien là? Voilà.
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Someone drank from rum, a sailor. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Dis-moi, frère, que ça continue à Enfin, saccade, auquel cas, après le cadavre, là, je relancerai le stream en moins beau. Pour ça, moins. Alors,
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
c'est moche.
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. These abbreviations mean something, but what? Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. The weapon fully penetrated the body.
Ok. Alors, on peut essayer la blague à tabac. Et les bottes, ouais, les bottes, on va les essayer dehors. C'est quoi ça? Ah, pour les portraits, d'accord. Voyons voir ça. C'est quoi B? Ah, relie deux indices pour formuler une déduction. Le rouge indique une combinaison impossible. Donc, calepin. On peut aller au mur avec tentative d'effraction. Non. Non, en fait tu peux pas. Alors, on va voir pas de jardinier avec tentative. Non. Oui, bah je. Ok. Alors, calepin, tentative d'effraction. Il faut tendre une embuscade ce soir au cas où l'auteur des tentatives d'effraction reviendrait.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Attends. C'est pas les bonnes. Donc il y a bien un monsieur méchant qui est venu. On va parler à l'inspecteur.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Que me dis-tu, frère Toc? J'ai oublié un trophée. Ouais, mais tu vois, je peux pas le prendre.
The ship's
Voilà. J'ai essayé, je ne peux pas. Ah, j'ai pas examiné la carte.
Hammerfest. Dundee. It's a whaling map.
Je me fais revenir.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Ok. Ah, les mecs les plus les plus discrets du monde.
Shh. Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
Mr. Holmes?
Quoi que je fasse, ils disent la même chose.
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Ils sont sympas ces petits chargements là. J'aime bien. Ok. Donc continuons. Alors, il va le... Ah bah d'ailleurs c'est le livre qui lit Crime et Punishment. Je sais pas si vous avez vu. Ah, Scotland Yard. Ici Holmes. Ah non. Oh, il y a eu un énorme bug là.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help
Mr. Holmes.
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Je pense que là on a la tête de tous les développeurs du jeu. Musique de l'entrée, attends, on va voir.
Mr. Holmes?
Bon. Lui aussi.
Mr. Holmes?
Oh mon dieu. Il faut pas beaucoup pour nous faire rire quand même.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Alors.
The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean a pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. A handkerchief with the initials JHN.
Oh, c'est l'anneau. From Air Dawson to my friend and partner.
And partner, 1883. From R. Dawson. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Ah, faut rentrer chez Holmes. Je vais y aller tout de suite. Voyons voir. C'est bien pour les chargements, on peut voir le carnet et tout. C'est plutôt cool. Alors, les archives. Plus 183, la loi sur les faillites a fait venir condamné pour la faillite de Dawson et Nelligan. L'exemple en faillite suite à de lourdes pertes dans son portefeuille de prêt. Ok.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.